In the Bible, there is a story of a Good Samaritan where Jesus tells of a story of a priest who passed at a certain side so that he was able to help the person who needed help. You and the outer body, you and the outer universe are participating in creative process. And all these things fused together, we know whether they are big or small, it's coincidences. Synchronicity, coincidences. Many incidences. So how does this all work? You must go beyond the ego. Once you sort the ego element off, you are in a situation where you connect seamlessly. You know whether it's, even if it's you or him or her or them, you are all together. Once you understand you are an extension of the universe, you go beyond the ego and you connect with your soul. You know you are connected with your soul. I've given you a summary on synchronicity. Let me give you a few examples of what has happened into my life. To start with, 1992, I started a letter called Letter from Diani. Every month I was circulating it on email, and people liked it, and I kept it consistently. Some years later, we had a small uprising at the coast, call it Kayabombo. And I wrote a letter about an experience I had called the Trees of Kwale. This touched people, and one in particular was a lady from Denmark who was a tour leader called Karina. So she was introduced to me by a boyfriend. This is Paul, who writes Letter from Diani. Karina hugged me and she was in tears. And I really wondered, what is this I have written? And she told me that is very, very, very touching story, Paul. You are good, you wrote nicely. Tell us more about yourself. I told her, my story is just a simple story. So I went and sat back. Maybe I have a story to tell. And I started from the beginning. Started writing from the beginning and wrote and kept my manuscript, whatever I was writing, just in my drawer. So 2 years or a few years later, let's say, I met some people at the car park and they wanted a lift because there were no taxis to get out of the hotel. So I gave them a lift, dropped them, and we just had a conversation, and they're happy. The Kenyan hospitality, refreshing, you talk, we mean well. So later in the evening, they were looking for me to buy me a drink because I had helped them out and I didn't want, I was not even charging anything. It was a non-issue. So they asked me, what do you like to do? Oh, I say I do this and this and this. I also like to write. I've written this and this. And the wife said, let's see what you've written. I said, no, you can't look at it. The way manuscript, you're not sure about them. They are dirty. And you're still not sure what to do. So I agreed, okay, let me give them. So the following morning, they were looking for me, telling me, oh, we couldn't sleep. Paul, this is a very, very powerful thing you've written. It needs to be published. And then I asked, what is to publish? How do you publish? We need to publish. Let's Google. Let's go to the internet, find out. So the guy is on holiday, but he decided it's his baby. He decided he's going to help me. So he went and came up with quite a number of Kenyan publishers and drafted what we call a query letter. I also learned at that time there's something called a query letter. So I circulated the query letter to Kenyan publishers. 2 days later, my friend Gerhard comes and asks me, have they responded? No, nobody has responded. So they told me, no, this can't be possible. Let's go international. So we went, came up with a few addresses and recirculated the same query letter. One day later, I got quite a lot of response, people asking for more information. And they kept on dropping, and then I remained with 5 So I was a bit confused. How do I handle these 5 publishers? One publisher was very persuasive and came up with a proposal. From Toronto came up with a proposal. Paul, if you sign for us, we are going to give you an advance before everything is published. And money was quite an incentive, very motivating. At that time, I'm working for a property that is under receivership. We are working to try and see whether things can work out. So we were going with delayed salaries at times, very late. But anyway, we were managing. So money was quite a motivator. And I signed with East End Books in Toronto. Very short, my book got published. And it was beginning of another Synchronicity. A few books were sent to me. I put them in a local bookshop and people started buying. One person went and bought everything to give as gift. And I started getting the signal, wow, this is a good book. It was doing well. I was appearing on papers, some headlines and all that. So far, it was doing well. Until this big one. Someone in US I've never known contacted the publishers and said, hey, this is a very serious thing that has come out from you people. Who is this person from Africa? He is writing stuff for us for free, which we are paying top dollar here to attend seminars. I'd like to meet him. So I was asked, do you want to visit US? I visited US. I was invited, everything paid for, family catered for. While I'm at home, because I had to leave job somehow, I stayed in US around 6 months. Synchronicity, very interesting. And then I came to realize I had visited a country I've always wanted to visit, lived some scenes had seen in movies, the Hollywood life of big house with a tennis court, 5-car garage. I've got a bedroom, I have my office, I'm attending balls and cocktail fundraiser, meeting mayors, governors. I mean, it was just an experience. Going to school and giving talks. Oh, Tom Stuller, an amazing family. Tom and Nancy Stuller. That, to me, is synchronicity. Meaningful coincidences happening to fulfill certain destinies that are just, unbelievable. So when you connect all these dots, you can see clear. It started with some small steps, then big steps, big events you couldn't predict. But the bottom line is everything was connected. Everything was connected to one greater whole picture, reaching what I wanted to reach to people. And it ended up being quite a lot of outreach. You and the universe being part of the whole to fulfill a certain desire. There is no disconnect between you and the universe. You are together.